tried to be festive, but then this came out kind of brown. I wanted it to be red and green. That's about holiday hacking. You know, like in these fantasy adventure movies where the band of heroes has to go on some kind of a journey, and they plan to go walking on the main road, which they know better and is safer. But then, for plot device related reasons, the main road gets closed and they have to go through the spooky forest. Usually, one of the reasons that the forest is spooky is because there are like witches or bandits or someone who live in the forest and know the forest really well. That's their territory. That's where they're most comfortable. And the band of heroes is way less effective there and therefore way less safe. Well, this year, if the quest is holiday shopping, stores would be like the main road that gets closed. And online shopping is the spooky forest. And needless to say, COVID-19 is the plot device. There has pretty consistently been more and more online shopping for the holidays in recent years, but COVID promises to make this year the most digital in history. That means a lot of unprepared people are going to be facing the cyber bandits, if you will, who are really in their element committing cyber crime. So, in the spirit of the holidays, let's talk about things to look out for and ways to protect yourself and the ones you love this holiday season. During the 2019 holiday season, there was a 29% increase in online shopping fraud, and we will talk about like exactly what I mean by that in a second. Basically, big as that number might seem, it is predicted to get astronomically bigger this year. Online shopping has increased by $107 billion this year already. That is approximately equivalent to the last 6 years of growth, and we did it in 8 months. But experts expect sales to surge another 33% to a record $189 billion. A fact not lost on those who make their money from online scams. So, what are the most common sources of scams online? Well, seeing as there's 2 sides to every transaction, the attackers basically have 2 choices: the online retailer or you. Attacking the retailer would look pretty similar to things that we've gone over before on this channel. When you, as a customer, are doing transactions online, or as a person who owns an online store, setting up places where people can do transactions online, you're often relying on a lot of different code from a lot of different companies who may or may not have security in mind, or who may or may not be aware of the vulnerabilities in their software. For example, the store's website itself might be vulnerable, but so might the payment processing system they use, or any kind of supplementary services or plugins. When a hacker finds a vulnerability in a software, they then go on to try and find everywhere that software is used to see if they can exploit the vulnerability in as many places as possible. But there are ways you can mitigate that. We've talked before about haveibeenpwned.com, the website that is constantly scanning website attacks and breaches, where you can check your email and password to see if they've ever been compromised and published by hackers. But that's more of a diagnostic. Preventative measures include making sure you use a different password on every website you use and trying to avoid making accounts altogether if it's possible. Check out my last video on password managers for some tips on how to do that. Check out using a secure service like PayPal, for example, where you've already entered your information so that you can avoid putting your information into that specific vendor's site, or purchase a prepaid gift card and use that to check out. Also, don't check the option to like save credit card information for future use. That being said, set up 2-factor authentication on your PayPal account or any account that you use to store your credit card information. Triple check any website you go to. It's really easy to spin up an infected clone of a site. And if you can manage to redirect customers to your infected site rather than the legitimate one, you can make a lot of profit. The second method, of course, is attacking you. And this method is a lot less efficient for hackers, but can sometimes be more effective because they're targeting not companies who have at least some kind of security infrastructure. Hopefully, this being 2020. No. They're targeting you, and they are assuming that you are not savvy enough to detect the scam. These usually aren't malware developers, they're not code masters, they're social engineers. They're not trying to hack your computer, they're trying to hack you. Well, it's gonna be a bad day for them since you are clearly a TikToker and are about to kick their butt. Side note, I will link in the description of this video some videos of hackers like reverse hacking scammers. They are so satisfying. I just love to watch them to like unwind. You know, like with some tea as I'm falling asleep. I'm gonna share it with you. I think you'll love it. Anyway, a lot of times these scammers will reach out to you, attempting to impersonate a service you might use, like Amazon or your bank, the IRS, etc. Either by email or over the phone, they'll try to get you to click the link to download download their malware, or simply reveal to them your banking information or your login information, anything that will allow them to cash out. Remember, the vast majority of the time, private hacks like these are financially motivated. Ways you can avoid this? Vigorously inspect every email that you get. The first thing you should check is the sender address. Google it to see if it's associated with known scams, or if you've ever gotten legitimate mail from that site, from that email address. Check the content of the email for spelling errors, grammatical errors, and a sense of urgency. The scammers are trying to make you panic because they know that when you are panicked, you will make illogical and unsafe decisions that you wouldn't make if you were in a calm state of mind. They have to make the situation seem so dire that you'll abandon reason and logic and take reckless actions that will endanger you and benefit them. They'll be like, your account will be canceled, or we'll seek legal action, whatever. Like, if they make it seem like you need to respond right now, like you did something wrong, right? Be suspicious. If you're really concerned that the email is legitimate and they might cancel your account or whatever, just call the company yourself. Don't call any number they put in the email. Look up on Google the number to call and call that number and say, hi, I just got this email. Is this from you? Is it legit? These days, pretty much no one calls you proactively. So if they called you first, it's likely a scam. I mean, think of how many like robots they make you talk to on the phone before you can talk to a person. They don't want you to be speaking to people. Like if they're sending a person to speak to you, it's weird. Also, if they are really specific about the payment method you have to use, like if they ask you to buy prepaid gift cards and send them and that's like the form of payment, no, stop, no one does that. No one does that. No one legit does that. Don't necessarily believe authenticating information that they may provide. They might try to be like, oh, like we have your address or your password or whatever, so we can prove that we're legit. If the service that they are impersonating has been compromised, they may have access to your actual data. This happened in Britain with the TalkTalk hacks. There was a cell phone company called TalkTalk that got hacked and a bunch of customer information got released. Scammers would go around calling these customers, verifying themselves by saying, look, we're legitimate because we have all this information on your account that we wouldn't have if we weren't associated with TalkTalk. Like how could we possibly have this? And people lost so much money because they believed them and they just, made these payments that were completely illegal and illegitimate. So don't do that. Even if they have information, that does not necessarily mean that they're legitimate. Again, approach every site with a questioning eye. Shopping locally and shopping small is really, really important. But unfortunately, the smaller the store is, the less time and resources they probably have for a security team. So the most important is to make sure that the payment system that they are using is legit. And if you notice a vulnerability in a site, especially one associated with a small business, it would always be my advice to email them, let them know so that it can be fixed. All in all, I am just hoping that y'all stay safe and happy during this holiday season. It is gonna be tough being so far away, so I am sending you a little extra love. Also, y'all know by now, but this video was made in partnership with Grizzly Information Security Solutions, who always bring me the good cheer. And if you came from TikTok or the Discord server, this special hello is for you. I love y'all. Stay safe.
Fingerprint, every piece electrified. Dance of danger in the sheets, requirement unsatisfied. Come and jailbreak me, come and set me free.
But experts expect, why did I write that? Experts expect sales to surge another 89%. That can't be right. 33%. We started recording the album the other night, like the full album. And I'm really excited, but I'm also really nervous. You guys have to promise me that you'll listen to it. I mean, if you don't like it, I don't want you to listen to it because I don't want you to be like miserably listening to my music. But I don't know. The songs mean a lot to me, and I'm gonna do what I did with virtual reality, where we do like the entire music video is gonna be made using Touch Designer and using code or using Unreal or something like that, but using code. And it's a lot. I want to make a music video for every song, and there's like 6 or 7 songs. I think 6. I'm really scared. I'm really excited, but I'm really scared. And it's not gonna come out for a while because we just I mean, COVID is really annoying, so we haven't been able to record, but we just started yesterday and we're having another session Wednesday. I really, really, really hope you guys like it. But yeah, if you stayed for the cutscene, you heard it first that we just started recording the album. So ooh.